To get my PhD, I went to live among the poor in Cairo, Egypt. I wanted to experience what people on the margins of our society go through and see if, equipped with academic and technical information and access to funds and policymakers, I could help solve some of life's existential problems sustainably. I moved into an ancient apartment in the slums of old Islamic Cairo where electricity and water service were sporadic at best. Getting hot water demanded the purchase of butane bottles, and then we had to heat the water that we stored in rooftop barrels whenever there was water service on a stove. Some of my neighbors, having even less money than a starving graduate student and no access to student loans or credit cards, had to resort to heating water on burning kerosene, wood, charcoal, or even trash. My doctoral thesis explored the microeconomics of hot water provision in the slums of Cairo, but halfway through I realized that I could change those economics if I learned how to create my own solar hot water systems and teach others how to do it too. After all, sunshine is free and abundant in Egypt. My success in this endeavor led me to start teaching solar hot water system construction in the adjacent slum, just across the ancient City of the Dead cemetery, where the Coptic Christian Zabaleen trash recyclers had built their shanty town on the outskirts of the city so they could have access to the garbage of 20 million urban dwellers and the treasures it contains. As Christians, the Zabaleen were able to keep pigs, which are forbidden to Muslims, and pigs were the solution to effectively separating organic and inorganic wastes so that plastic and paper and cardboard and metal and glass and cloth could all be cleaned and shredded and binned for sale to the Chinese. The work was filthy because of the horrible negligence of city dwellers who, despite the pleas of the Zabaleen, refused to simply separate their greasy, smelly food waste from their other wastes, which the trash recyclers were otherwise happy to pick through and put in its proper place for recycling. And that meant they could really use abundant, inexpensive hot water to clean themselves. So we started working together and got a USAID small infrastructure grant to train solar hot water system builders and installers, and I got my PhD and got noticed by NPR and National Geographic. I also got to intimately know the community of the world's finest and most efficient garbage people, a people marginalized by the wealthier classes and often treated as outcasts, but a people proud and faithful who have created their own interface between the informal and formal economies and who see value and goodness in almost everything and everybody. It was a transformative experience for me and changed the way I look at the world profoundly and for the better. In their churches, they told me, their priests tell them there is nothing undignified about working with garbage. Our perfect and loving God created all things, they say, and though we are all born dirty, stained with sin, the love of God can clean up and sanctify and recycle all of us and put us back into His service. Therefore, we can do God's work by cleaning up and recycling and making useful everything that has become stained, soiled, or dirty. Our lives, they said, are about putting things back in the service and spirit of Christ. The Zabaleen are proud of their work, as they should be. They, like trash pickers everywhere, and I visited the communities in New Delhi, India, and Nepal, and Manila, and the Philippines, they're often outcasts in the eyes of people who never think about dealing with their own wastes, who don't separate the garbage they make every day, and who mix organic and inorganic trash and thereby create the horrible conditions that garbage people have to deal with. But in the eyes of God, the Zabaleen know that what they are doing is holy. It's holistic. And this module invites you to do as I've done, to put yourself in the recycled shoes of the Zabaleen, to look through their optimistic eyes, the eyes of a people who see the treasure in everything and ultimately everyone. For in a zero-waste world, nothing and nobody would or ever could be wasted. The transformation of the world to that clean, green, environmental, and socially just utopia starts, of course, with you. Are you ready to think holistically? Are you ready to be whole again? Are you ready to be holy?